one. Peace, blessings, and all of that. Something ain't right here, fam. Something ain't right here. There's something in the water. Something ain't right here. Here it is. We going into the fall season, right? We changing gears, changing seasons, just about, right? And right before we get there, all of these celebrity deaths just start happening back to back to back to back. Some ain't right. It's still going on. It's still happening. Huh? Just last week, who was it? First celebrity death I heard about, Fat Man Scoop. Boom. There was another one. There was a few other ones, right? Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the names I could think of at the top of my head. Shannon Doherty. She was battling cancer for years. Um, Rich Homie Quan. That situation, 34 years old. Terrible. Terrible. And then this week right here, who that? Tito Jackson. Tito Jackson. James Earl Jones. I believe that's his last name. I should know his man last name because I grew up on Lion King like a mug. You know what I'm saying? Mufasa. I don't want to disrespect the man, but if you know, you know Mufasa, man. You know that man been around a long time. He one of them actors who's been around a long time, and it seemed like he always, one of them actors that been around in the business for a long time and always seemed like they had age on them. So it's a shock when you finally hear of their passing. You know what I mean? People we grew up listening to, watching, they just dropping out here, fam. They dropping like damn raindrops, like flies out here. That shit kind of spooky if you ask me. You better protect yourself, man. It ain't looking safe for no damn body out here. You hear me? Shout out to the chat. And so what's going on? Peace, blessings. Gary, what's going on, bro? Peace, blessings. Kevin, peace, peace, peace. Uh, I'm sorry, sweetie. I can't quite get your name. I see you all the time. I say what's up to you. It's easy for me to type, but I don't want to say it and mess your name up. Can I call you Sophia? I don't want to say the whole thing. I don't want to try to mess your name up. Respectfully, respectfully. You already know. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the bushes too. You know what I'm saying? But just a little quick pop in, man. Protect yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, Usually people will say, make sure you get your health and things checked out. But does that have anything to do with it at all? I mean, because you just look on, just within the past week, it's just looking dangerous out here. Sophie, okay, all right. I apologize. Sophie, appreciate you, Queen. Appreciate you. All right, got you. Got you. It's looking nasty out here, right? 2024, they said this was the year of truth. You know, it forgot to mention a few other things among that. It's looking terrible out here. It's spooky. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was shocked when my uncle had passed away. Um, this was back when? This was some months ago. And I just say that to say it just seems like people really just here. That's how death works. I get it. People really just here one day and then gone like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it gets spooky, and when the numbers pile up, you start looking at shit kind of crazy. That shit kind of funny. You know, not funny as in like actually funny, but R.I.P. to all of those celebrities who passed, and RIP to anybody who's passed in general. You don't have to be a celebrity. And definitely condolences to family and friends who lost these people. It's starting to look spooky. You understand? You got, what's his name? Trump for the second time. They shooting at him. And that's what I heard. I didn't look too deep into the situation. All I seen was a picture of like I think they say the brother was like 50 something, some old white dude. They say he was trying to get at Trump. The way I heard somebody tell it was that the Secret Service had popped him or whatever before he could do anything. Correct me if I'm wrong, if y'all heard what I'm talking about. But they trying to get him up out of here, I see, before, they that final, you see, before that final decision is made, they trying to get that man up out of here, bro. Ain't which tell you that ain't nobody safe. Even trying to get the potential president up out of here. That shit wild, man. That shit is wild. I don't wish death on nobody. You know what I'm saying? But they say the third time. I'm not wishing this on nobody. They say the third time, and you out of here. You know, who knows how many more attempts on that man's life they gonna make, fam? That shit crazy. Shannon Sharpe. My bad, yo. All right, phone ringing, then stop. Anyway, Shannon Sharpe. Folks still talking about this, right? At first, they was trying to figure out who Michelle is, which I personally could not care, right? If you blessed to be a 50-some-year-old man, you in good shape, and you can still throw legs over your shoulders at that age without risking a heart attack. Salute to you. And I don't even use that word. I just pray when I get that age, I can get it popping the way he sound like he was. But see, that's the thing, because people say that that man faking and faking all because of the fact that there rumors was out there about him being gay. Imagine that. If Shannon Sharpe don't know how to do nothing else, that fool know how to go viral. It started with the Cat Williams situation, right? That's when people started to really like pick up on his show. I had heard of Club Shay Shay before, but it wasn't until the Cat Williams situation that me and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people started paying attention. And it's a dope show. It's a dope platform, huh? There goes that clip of him getting out the truck with the damn. I don't know, looked like a man person. I don't know what it was. He was talking about his hip and all of this, talking about he was gay and shit. And then he ends up going viral for this shit right here, right? It never sounded good anyway. It never sounded good. The man say he threw the phone on the bed and went live on accident. When the fact of the matter is, I never went live on Instagram. But on any platform, you got to press a few buttons in order to go live. So that whole thing about being hacked and all that, it never made sense. Like people sitting here actually like testing out the theory, like showing the phone, like, you see this right here, this is what you got to do in order to go live. So let's say he actually did go live and fake that situation just because he wanted people to know that he's into that and not into that. That would be the stupidest shit I heard of. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I might care about what the rest of the world think about me. Even if I was a gay man myself, that ain't got nothing to do with the rest of the world. Here it is, you got talking about an ex-football player who got sponsors, he got money on money, successful. He got all this other shit going. We got a successful podcast that, even Vlad is pissed off about. Mad as hell. Man was so mad at Shannon Sharpe. He putting trying to figure out the man numbers, trying to figure out what's in the man pocket and analytics and all of that. Imagine you got all of that going on for you. And then you decide, you get so sick of people thinking that you could even be gay to the point where you decide to fake a clip on IG. I could never let other people's thoughts affect me to that point where I would fake anything, especially at that age. He got some years on me, so if I wouldn't care about it, why the hell you care? You a known figure. I understand when you a celebrity and people got rumors and narratives going on about you. Sometimes, it's not the first time that a person has been accused of possibly faking a situation to try to prove people wrong or whatever. I think that if people stop trying to prove other people wrong and people stop caring about what other people think, I think the world would be so much of a better place, honestly. Maybe maybe fools care a little bit too much about what the next person think. Like seriously. But peace, God, appreciate you, appreciate you. Hypocrisy, boy, I'm telling you, hypocrisy. Like that word is so repetitive, right? But you see it, and when you see it, it's like I don't think people really understand. Like being on the internet, like being on here specifically, you see it all day, every day, right? So the other day I'm sitting here and I'm watching two men going back and forth. Um, both of these brothers supposed to be gangbangers, right? Claiming to be associates of Crip gangs and stuff like that. One of them happened to have an issue with the dude who was already up on the panel because he's saying, "Listen, you don't really know nothing about that life. Stop fronting." So his thing was, "I'm gonna get up on this panel and prove to these people this fool ain't really what he say he is. This dude is from the south. One is from the south. The other one is from the city." Now, in reality, even if you're talking about gangs and shit like that, it's two different forms of code and things. They do things different, right? Talking about street shit or whatever. Which there's a big love on here for street politics and jail stories and gangs. There's a big audience for that type of thing on here, right? It's a lot of people are tapped in that way. So this dude ends up getting up there trying to put this man on blast, trying to expose him. And obviously, you got like 50 people watching. So he ain't going for that. They end up going back and forth, calling each other out on this and that, disrespecting each other, this, that, and the third. And then the one dude, he takes it a step further. He takes it a step further and he gets into a bag that I've seen so many times on here. It was nothing new to me, but I was more surprised by the reaction of the people who reacted to what he said. R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle, right? Y'all know Nipsey had passed away some years ago. I was never like a huge, huge fan of Nipsey, but I heard his music, and I get it. I understand that the reason people love Nipsey Hussle so much is because he was somebody who was, he was gang affiliated, but he was doing good things out here. He was actually trying to make a difference, you could say. You understand? He was more than just your average gangbanger. It's not about where you're from. It's about what you're trying to do. It's about what you're trying to accomplish. He was basically representing that. He was a symbol of that right there. So because this one guy had felt he was losing this argument, two brothers claiming to be gang members, he felt out of desperation, I guess, to get the last laugh, he disrespected Nipsey Hussle because a lot of people do react to that. Anyone who represents, you know, uh, whether it's Rolling 60s or, Neighborhood Crip, all these different, associations and stuff like that, they really like hold Nipsey near and dear. You understand? So when somebody disrespects that man's name, even though he's not here, it don't matter if they ain't met him a day in their life, they'll jump on your ass about that. And he knew what he was doing. So he took it there and he said F Nipsey Hussle. So the guy that was on the panel didn't so much have too much to say, but it was so much as the people who was in the chat. The people in the chat decided to come at this man. They just couldn't believe that he had disrespected not just Nipsey, but a deceased man, a man who can't defend himself, which of course is wrong. You know what I mean? We don't talk about the dead. We don't talk about the deceased. And it's like out of all people, you talking about a man who was actually trying to do some good things out here. Why would you do something like that? But at that moment, I had sensed hypocrisy. Now this is a completely different side of YouTube, right? But there was hypocrisy. That whole lot was hypocrisy because you mean to tell me the same people who condone the talks, the disrespecting of kids, you know, mamas, uh, parents, right? All of that stuff, and even the deceased, all of that shit is on. You know, there's no limit to any of that on here, on that side of this app. So when this man decided to do that, when he went that route, when he brought this up and he threw that shot and he disrespected this deceased man, all that must have went out that window just that quick. When I guarantee you, every single person who was in that chat, one way or another, if not at least half of them, probably are subscribed to and are supporting somebody who has disrespected the deceased before. So you see what I be saying when I be talking about hypocrisy? That's what I mean by that. If you're gonna call it out, then you gotta call it out every time. If you're gonna call something out, there's no such thing as being selective about that. Because you might as well just shut up and don't have shit to say. But see what it really came down to was a personal thing. That's what I figured. They just really didn't like this dude. Um, everybody not gonna get along on here. They just didn't like him for whatever reason. So it was a selective situation. It was a selective moment. Like, how dare you talk about this man who's dead, who's deceased, who had no business going there. But all I'm saying is, if you felt that way then, feel that way any other time when y'all are entertaining the shit that people do on here. If you're sitting there and you're supporting somebody getting that bag where they're talking about people who can't defend themselves, and you got to stand on that all the way. You got to stand on that every single time they do it. It don't matter if you like a person or you don't like a person. It don't matter if you're associated or not associated. You can't just call one person out on some shit that the person you know that you're associated with does all the time. And the app is so foul, people come on here and they have that mindset of where it's like, I would never do that. I would never take it that far. I would never go to this extent, to that extent, to defend myself. Because how I look at it, for me personally, I've had situations on here before, but I've never done that. If I could say one thing, I could say that. If I'm going back and forth with another man, even if he talks about my deceased family, I'm not going to talk about yours because they're not the ones who talked about my deceased family anyway. You are. You're the one I got the problem with. You might feel comfortable talking about mine, and I could be petty and return that favor just to get under your skin. But I try to think at the end of the day, it's like this because when it's said and done, I got to think about what I said to you. I gotta live with that. You understand? I got a conscience about shit like that. Death is nothing to play with. Just like what I said not too long ago, you got folks dropping dead out here, so that's nothing to play with at all. I seen somebody who had an actual situation where they were dealing with cancer and they were lucky enough to beat it, to survive it, but then they basically wished death on the next person because they got mad at something that they said. Y'all playing with death just a little bit too motherfucking much for me. Understand? Say love, appreciate you, sis. Been a minute, appreciate you. But yeah, a lot of people don't live by that code though. That doesn't make me feel better. If somebody's coming at me and let's say my father passed away, they disrespect my deceased father, and I know their father is deceased. I could easily return fire, stoop, because the name of the game on here is to stoop as low to their level as you can. And it's literally a wrestling match to see who can stoop the lowest, who can get the last laugh. So you mean tell me, yo, none of y'all had no conscience when you get off of here? I look at it like this. Yeah, he talked about mine, but my issue was with his. Anything I said was pertaining to him. I'm not gonna feel bad about lighting your ass up, but I'm not gonna take it further and bring people into it. Like you got kids, you got a wife, or whatever. I'm gonna leave that there. You understand? Because when it's said and done, the people who are watching, the people who watch these lives back, they'll say, yeah, you know, he talked about bro's deceased father, but bro didn't budge. He kept it on him. You understand? He didn't bring his kids and his family into it. This guy, he wanted to make him look bad. So he wanted to make him look a certain way so bad. He was so obsessed with trying to make him look a certain way, come out of character and all of that, to the point where he talked about this man's father who had just passed away. What I'm saying is, you gotta live with that. These lives are up forever unless people delete these shits. They're up here forever for even the people who are behind the scenes of YouTube to watch this shit. They see what's going on. They see what's going on. Shay Love says, yeah, it's been a minute. My oldest boy was ill for a while. At first, oh wow, shit, I didn't know that. I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know that. Um, Hopefully everything is working out for the better now. I was just sitting here talking about how it just seemed like like so much going on involving like health. You know, like so many people who are here and just gone just like that. So um, definitely sending prayers, positivity, and blessings to you and your fam. Definitely, you know. Sorry to hear that. Definitely fam first. You know, like for me, that's a whole nother story. That fam first stuff. Like I talked about that before, though. You know, like shout out to Marlene. She was live earlier, and we was always having that conversation about how not everybody who has family, everybody has family, but not everybody has that dynamic to where they're actually treating each other like family. And it's really a damn shame to say because family is supposed to be all you got, right? That's how it's supposed to be, right? You got all these strangers in the world. You got friends, people you grew up with, you got associates, but when shit goes down, let's say the world was getting ready to end tomorrow. Who the first few people you getting ready to call? It would be your family, right? But what if you don't get along with your family like that? Any arguments or situations you had with them, that's the last thing you're gonna remember about them. That's the last thing they're gonna remember about you. People always say, make up with your people today. Don't wait another second, don't wait another minute, hour, don't wait another day, week, month, or whatever, because you never know what's gonna happen. That's just the truth of it. But then some situations are just little bit different than that. It's not that simple for everybody to just. People got egos, man. People got egos like a mug. You hear me? But yeah, but definitely blessings to the fam, sure, definitely. I just want to pop on here real quick before I make this run, handle some business and stuff like that. But shout out to everybody who's in the bushes, man. I know somebody told me the other day. I think this was yesterday. Somebody said that they don't get pardon the motorcycles and shit. Somebody said they don't get my notifications like that or whatever. I told people this before. I said YouTube don't really want me on here like that anyway. They tried to get my ass over here years ago. Let me tell you something. Understand? Like this platform right here I'm using, this was my backup page. The other page I got was like 400, almost 500 subs or whatever. That was my original account. They ended up taking that. I start this, end up going further with this than I could ever go with the other one. And like a year passed. To the people who think once you lose a channel, you can't get it back, that's not the case. You can. Even if a year passes by, you probably think, oh, that channel is gone forever. That's what I thought. By the year's time passed, I ended up trying to get the damn channel back. And it worked out. I had to type in some things or whatever. I forgot the process I went through, but that just brings me back to what I was just speaking on not that long ago. It's really funny. It's crazy as hell how the people who indulge in the shit that I was just talking about, right? Not even a strike. Here it is. I just got off a strike like a month ago, I want to say, for some damn, for some copyright stuff. Stuff that, I would expect, but a strike, that's a little bit too harsh. You know what I'm saying? I felt. So don't think these fools who run this platform, they know what be going on here. They know what they be doing. They know who doing what. But it's all everything, it's about what's lucrative. And unfortunately, the negativity, the chaos, uh, all that shit is lucrative. And that's really all they care about. It's about making money. It's a business at the end of the day. The negative is going to always beat the positive. There's people that get on this app to this day and they don't really understand exactly. I call it is, I call it the elephant graveyard. Rest in peace to James Earl Jones again, aka Mufasa. Grew up listening to that. I don't know how many times I heard that damn movie, man. A remake. It was alright. Basically the same thing. They had the animals looking all crazy and shit like that. I started to watch it the other night, matter of fact, when I heard about it, but I didn't anyway. But I call that side of YouTube the elephant graveyard. The side that anybody who's been on here long enough will warn people about. Do not listen. Don't leave Pride Rock. Stay where you know. Stay where you at. If you found some decent people, your first couple of weeks, your first couple of months on there, you might have heard stories about some things that take place on here, things that actually affect people in their real life. Reasons people end up not just losing channels, I'm talking about losing, like jobs, like and other things like that. It's always that shit is always gonna be there to talk about because it's always gonna be there. It's always gonna be an audience for it. If there's oh, it don't matter how messed up it is. If there's an audience for it, it's gonna always be there. It's gonna always be there to talk about. I ain't even charged my damn phone. My phone about to die. Yeah, I gotta get ready to get up off here. But I'm just tapping in, man. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Shay because I ain't seen you in a minute. I think I seen you in who was that? Maybe it was Marlene's chat yesterday, but you know, I know why I wasn't seeing you. Shout out to you. Peace Cobbler, shout out to you. Appreciate you. Anti, Sophie, Gary, Kevin, shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? Just had to get on here and pop in real quick because just watch y'all backs, man. Protect y'all peace and everything. You know what I'm saying? I tell people if you can manifest positivity and keep that positivity going, pass it off to the next person so that they can pass it off to the next person because it's all going to come back to you. If you're manifesting that sort of energy, it's going to always come back to you. Because the way things are happening right now in the world, if this is what, going towards the end of 2024 is like looking like, you know what I'm saying? We're not there yet, but we're getting there. Then, you just have your thoughts on what 2025 is going to look like. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Realest one. Let me get my ass up off here.